Immediately, my mind jumped to visions of me killing, and then hanging out with the band backstage, sharing broccoli off the same fancy veggie plate, instantly becoming best friends as I banged out the chords to Welcome to Paradise on Billy Joe's guitar, his idea. As the movie comedian had taught me, I bought a new shirt, black, safe, and arrived at 30 Rock early, my head craning up to the high ceilings like a tourist, overwhelmed by the brass and marble cathedral of NBC. The only other time I had been there was years earlier, to nervously drop off an SNL audition tape that no one had asked for, giving it to a random security person who most likely threw it in a pile of unsolicited submissions they incinerated at the end of each workday. But this time was different. This time, I was invited. They had my name at security and everything. I smiled as they took my photo and gave me a little badge with my picture on it and walked me past the velvet ropes and toward the elevator. I was lucky and arrived early enough to watch Green Day do their sound check, which was incredible. The gloss on the floor was so shiny I could see another Green Day, inverted and reflected beneath the actual band. Double Green Day, I thought. Awesome. Just as I was feeling for the first time like show business was a party and I had finally been invited, my cell phone rang, and my agents told me I had been accepted to the writing staff of my first ever TV writing job. I know people say in situations like this that they pinch themselves, but after I got off the phone, I literally pinched myself, overwhelmed with my good fortune and only slightly nervous that this meant I would have to pack up and move to LA. My actual set of stand-up comedy that night was only just fine. I was nervous and played it safe, mostly doing one-liners, jokes that I thought were bulletproof, forgetting that the only thrill you get from stand-up is from taking risks and having them work. The thing I remember most was people on Twitter giving me shit for telling my, "Do you think at the very first meeting of the KKK anyone pushed for the correct spelling of Klan?" joke, and then looking to my left, apparently checking with the Roots to see if the racial joke was over the line. I wasn't, but yeah, it looked like I was. After my set, I passed Lorne Michaels in the hallway and stopped in my tracks. Not just because I was starstruck, I was, but because I thought maybe he would shake my hand vigorously and tell me that I was the future of comedy and the best thing he had seen since John Belushi in a kimono. Lorne Michaels walked right by. Still holding out for some premium A-list compliments, I asked the producers if I could meet Green Day, and they took me to their dressing room. We exchanged a few pleasantries, but they didn't say anything about my set. Maybe they didn't see it, I thought, just as their drummer, Trey Cool, gave me a thumbs up, smiled, and told me to keep at it. I would have preferred nothing. Keep at it? I thought. We just performed on the same TV show. You keep at it! But it didn't matter. I had some momentum and a new job, and for the first time, a reason to move to LA. 2 weeks later, I was living in Hollywood and dating someone new. Los Angeles was overt, flashy, and loud, and so was my new girlfriend. She wasn't like the other girls I had dated. She was a broad, and I mean that in the good way. She was unembarrassed, fun, and brassy. She smoked cigarettes and played cards with retired cops, and would sometimes call in sick to work so we could make martinis and order groceries, making lunch drunk in our underwear. If I was going to shake the sex shame I had inherited from my church, this was the woman to do it with. She was sexy. She wore dresses and high heels every day and took me to strip clubs, the Hustler store, and one time to a pet shop to buy a leash, even though neither of us owned a dog. She was as sex positive as my youth leaders had been sex negative, which is saying a lot. She took all my secret shame that I had been keeping in the shadows and shined a big red light on it. Parts of it were fun, sure, but mostly I felt like a tourist, trying out what it might feel like to be a sex guy. Smoking, buttoning one less button on my shirts, trying not to blush at midday naked selfie texts. Our relationship really made sense to me only when I was drunk, so instead of telling her it wasn't feeling right and that maybe we should just be friends, I got and stayed drunk for pretty much an entire year. I gained 40 pounds in vodka and Grubhub and started wearing giant, loose dress shirts that looked like smocks. I would routinely stop at the liquor store on my way home from work and buy us booze and cigarettes, blaring AC/DC in the car, trying desperately to convince myself that I was this guy, but I had no idea what I was doing. One time my girlfriend asked me to pick up cigarettes for us, so I ducked into a CVS in the valley and asked for a pack of Marlboro Lights. Still feeling like they might see through me and say, "No, you're a baby boy, get out of here." And the clerk told me, "We only have the soft pack." Is that